Welcome back to YourTown. I'm King Grossman, and this is our final segment of our hour with you today, and we really appreciate you being with us. And I couldn't be happier to have my guest, Jose Ortiz, with me. And I met Jose by doing a joint art project with him and with Mark Baer. And I did some poetry, and we did some video filming, and Jose was there with his art and other youth that you mentor in their art.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that as we get going. But Jose is the founder and executive director of Hijos Del Sol,
Yes.
which means Children of the Sun. And
Yes.
Talk to me about your organization and what you're doing with the arts, and please.
Yes. Hijos del Sol, it's a Native American thought, philosophy, and my grandmother had it. And she thought that everything was significant, and that we are all part of the planet, that we're all children of the planet, and that's how we should live. And so the interconnectedness that we have with Mother Nature, animals, and plants, it was important for her. So I try to carry that with me, and that's why I think the name Children of the Sun was important to me when I began this organization or this company, because I think that if we are, as illustrators or writers or painters or fabricators, if we have that thought of that memory,
Yes.
then our work has a meaning. It has a direction. It has a use, and so yeah. I didn't start at Hijos del Sol. I think everyone is. Everyone is in the planet. We're all one people, one planet.
Yeah.
And if we can see that planet as our home,
Yeah.
and how we contribute as illustrators or painters, then maybe we can build. I don't know. Something will unite people, something that will make people feel more aware of themselves and aware of everything else, and maybe we can do things differently than what we're doing now.
Magnificent. Yeah, I was talking about Native American values. I was just out for 3 weeks with the Dakota Access Pipeline protests here about a month and a half ago, at Standing Rock. Right. And one of the things that really impressed me was, and what I learned as a baby, because they know it, Native folk know it for generations and generations, and that is the sacred nature of living in harmony with one another and our entire environment.
Yes, I think it's very, very important. I'd been that way since a child, knowing that I was part of nature, that I was part of the animals, that I was just another living creature. And that's, I think, I really like what we've created as people. There are some things that I think are amazing, but then there's also that other part that we have abused, or, I don't know if intentionally or not, but it's still harming, and it could be done in a different way without the abuse. So that's important.
Yes, and art, visual art, your visual art, or art of other medium, but in your case, visual art, helps us be inspired to be connected that way, right?
Yes, it's illustrations can move people and can stir feelings and emotions, and hopefully maybe with what we do or what we say or what we write or what we create, then we can then help us understand together.
Yes.
The absence that or the presence of Hijos del Sol, Children of the Sun, and maybe we can come and unite, like with the pipeline deal. It's very important to understand that there are other creatures besides ourselves. that somehow we're disturbing, or disturbing a life
Yes.
or a family unit of some kind.
Which ultimately destroys our own.
Yes,
Yes.
because we're all interconnected.
Yes. Yeah,
That's I think most people are intelligent. I think all people are. And we just need to think about it a little bit
Right.
and observe and feel, and we'll be okay.
Well, introducing this way of life, as well as introducing the techniques of art and,
Yes.
the discipline and the practice of art, visual art, with youth. This is something that I know you specifically set out to do. And talk to me about that, what it's like working with youth, recruiting youth. When we met, you had your youth with you that had done a lot of that art. And it was just wonderful to watch that. But what's your experience with that? Something, yeah.
You know, I started back in '92 when I was exploring the idea of becoming a teacher.
Okay.
As a child, I didn't have a lot. So trying to transplant myself from one place to another, I had a reality that I was not seen as, or I was not looked upon. So when I got out of school, I thought maybe I can create a program that can allow the kids like myself to become more visible or more, I don't know, just give them a space where they can become a little bit more aware of themselves and their skill.
Yes.
You know, to us, the art is a skill,
Yes.
whatever skill you have.
Yeah.
And it does not have to be the same skill as others. And your method could be different. And the diversity that exists in how you present that or how you communicate that to yourself, it's not wrong or right. It's just different.
Right.
And so in that process, I found myself, you know, because the strengths that we all hold could be different from one another's.
Yes.
But that's okay, because then we try to get not mentioned right or wrong or good or bad.
Yes.
We just say, well, this is what I am, and this is what I like.
And let's bring it forward.
Yes, let's move on.
Yeah.
So this space became real more and more every year. It's a studio space. It's a workshop space for illustrators just like me. I found myself being occupied with the same kid that I was. Every time a kid came in, I go, oh my God, I know
That's
this
you.
kid. Yes, it's me again. Yeah, every time I try to pull away, there was more of me coming in.
in the door.
How do you ignore that? And I didn't. I chose not to. I wanted to deliver
Yes.
and probably refuge that
Yes.
that kid because of the misunderstandings that I went through on my own, and I wanted to make it different. Because there's a lot of children that are still in that process of transforming, you know, because they don't, or acceptance of themselves, because of how curriculum or what society has dictated who's smart, who's not smart, who's intelligent, not intelligent.
Right.
I think every kid is.
Everybody is.
I think so.
You
And-
reach in there and
Yes.
open that up, right?
Yes, and I know that everyone has value and significance, and whatever it is, some of them have become my own teachers. So just working in that environment and allowing children just the necessary tools,
Yes.
you know, basic tools of drawing, painting, fabricating,
Yes.
and allowing them also to express themselves.
Yes.
In a,
Giving them permission
yes.
to freely express themselves.
And not feel afraid, you know, that's
Yes.
very important. Don't feel afraid
beautiful.
to express and say and be yourself. And that has become very key elements to what we do with youth. I think when I say youth, I think everyone from any age could benefit from that.
When we tap
studio.
into this spirit,
Yeah.
it's not chronological.
Yes.
It is an ongoing youth
Yes, I think so.
that we tap into, right?
You know, we know that we grow older, or that we conceive life and we you know, we become more aware of pain and these other emotions as we get
Older.
and live on and live on. So, but I think the person is the same person she was born or he was born.
Their basic nature.
It's just the body is the one that keeps transforming, but
Yes.
but it's that same person
Yes.
in that body,
Yes.
because it's the same person that feels and sees and it's that person that I'm dealing with.
That's who you're after.
Yes, and so the outside can take care of itself.
Yes. That's
But
lovely.
we don't stereotype.
Right.
We try not to.
Right.
We try to see the person as a person, ageless,
Right.
and it's that person that I like to tap into.
So
Yes.
how do the young folk, how do you find them or they find you? What are some of the ways
My
people
God.
come in your door?
It's a lot of, I work within the school system, and ever since I had the opportunity to build the idea of an after-school program, children become aware of the program.
Right.
And we don't really put it out there. We like to have people spontaneously come in.
Say, I want to see what's going on.
This is what
here."
I want to do. This
Yeah.
is, can I,
Yeah.
visit? And they began.
A program of attraction.
Yes. And just becomes that program. It becomes a living organism.
Yes.
And it's just the way we've run it
That's fabulous.
since then. So we don't try to push it or shove it in to anywhere or try to make it into a must kind of program thing.
Right.
We allow people to naturally come in.
Yes.
And if
fabulous.
they like it, and if this is their place, and they'll benefit from it. Definitely, 90% of our kids go on to college level education.
Wow.
However, there's that little 1%, and
Yes.
and I understand
Yes.
because there's a different process for some
For everyone.
different people.
Yeah.
Some might become professional or independent.
Yes.
But all of them, 100% of those kids do become more aware, more enriched
Yes.
about themselves, knowing about their skill, knowing about they have value,
Yes.
and whatever their hands can create might take them places.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's really one of the motivations that keeps me
That's
doing
wonderful.
what I do.
Okay, so with all of that,
Yeah.
all right, which is a lot of work.
Yeah, quite a
Okay,
bit, yeah.
you are an artist.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I'm
And
a
so I want you to talk a little bit about your own art. What's going on with it right now? And from two standpoints, if you would. One, what you're trying to create, what's in your creative brain and heart. But the other is the challenge between balancing between inspiring others and you carving off the time to do your own work.
painter. My God, yeah, that's a big question.
Yeah, it is.
I started very young. I was 5 when I first did the drawing that I noticed. I ever since then I've been bumping into different kind of tools of my work, different growth. So I remember even younger than 5, already molding the clay. So I was doing the little animals that I've took care of when I was a child. So, growing up, I always had a tool, or the tool found me. I don't know,
Right.
and my work keeps evolving every time. And even though I do the same drawing, at times it evolves at some point. So I'm good with that. How it's evolving on its own. And there also be those moments where I wish I could do more, but it just seems that I just wait for those moments, that actually just.
But this
they
word
call me.
evolving, see, that keeps it fresh every time.
Yeah,
It's that
it's-
beginning again and again, right?
Yeah, it's like rewriting or reprinting something, but there'll be something new that you
Yes.
capture. What I want to do with my work, it's still that. I still want to grow more. I want to understand more. I want to comprehend more. I want to be able to do, bigger things and But, I wait for those moments. I try not to push them.
Let them emerge.
Yeah, let them emerge naturally, because they have until now.
Yes.
And I haven't had, I don't have no regrets whatsoever. Because I think my work puts me in a place where I can live and experience, feel, and taste what
Well,
I
this
do.
is so good, because I would just say that for yourself as an artist, that expression is so important. And for others that are touched by it, those that would never be in your program but just experience your art, but then also those in your program, and to say, hey, the big guy's working here, and that's inspiring too, right? So,
Yes, it is.
So yeah.
So see, that's my work, my personal work. That's how I see it and how I feel it.
Yeah.
And the work that I do with Hijos del Sol, or it could be preparatory kind of thing.
Yes.
I think
Informs.
Yes, they get informed. They get prepared,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
and I like the idea that they're watching it and feeling it. We're in the same moment sometimes.
Right.
So when I'm creating a piece, they're there with me, and I can be doing both. I can do my work,
Yes.
and they can also teach themselves. And at the same time, like I said, sometimes, they not that they surprise me, but they teach me back,
Yes.
and they see something I don't see.
Wonderful.
And that's in itself, right? That's, people ask me, why do you always say we? I always think that we don't do it alone. My grandmother thought that we're not alone,
Right.
that you are with many,
Yes.
and you are the product of many.
Yes.
So you're not alone. You need the water, you need the air. And so when I say we, it's definitely we.
Yes.
Yeah.
So speak, if you would. I'm going to switch around here, because we talked a little bit about, and my prior guest, Paul Fridland, he and his wife love the outdoors, as well as my wife, Lisa, and I. And I think that might be something fairly common to this area. But I know you love to be in the outdoors and in nature. And so what are some of your favorite things to do when you're not in your studio?
I love the planet. I love the plants. I love the trees. Clouds, they're amazing. I think we live in an amazing planet, and it takes me away. And
Yes.
There could be a really tiny creature, or it could be a magnanimous of nature.
Wonderful.
So that in itself, it's a true experience. I don't have to go too far.
Not here.
No.
Well, and I want to tell you, Jose, we've got to wrap up.
Okay.
But I really thank you for this wonderful interview. And
Thank you.
Art, I'll just say, as community building as well, we've talked about. And that's what I want this show to be about. I want to thank you all for being a part of it. Let's do it again next month. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank
so
you.
here we are. We're going to
Yes.
talk a little bit here while he kind of takes us out.
Okay.
And,